All right, it's official. French Finance Minister Christine Lagarde is the next managing director of the International Monetary Fund. The fund's board just made the announcement, and our chief Washington correspondent Peter Cook is live outside the IMF with the latest. So, Peter, no surprises here, but we have been waiting all day.
That's right. We've been waiting essentially for a month and a half now. She was the front runner from the very start, the French finance minister. Now she gets this job, maintains Europe's 65-year hold on the top position here at the International Monetary Fund, and she makes history in the process, becoming the first woman to hold this job. Her selection was all but assured this morning when we heard from the United States, Brazil, Russia, a host of other countries finally publicly backing Lagarde. Privately, many had expected they would ultimately back her as well, given the European support for Lagarde, their early jump into this race, their early support for her over Mexican Central Bank Governor Agustin Carstens, her only competition in this battle to take over to replace Dominique Strauss-Kahn, who of course left last month after the furor of his sexual assault charges against him there in New York for allegedly assaulting a hotel maid. Now Lagarde gets this job, and again she maintains Europe's control over this position. There have been questions about emerging economies. Would they put up a fight over Europe holding on to this job? In the end, they have backed her by consensus, we're being told. She will start on July 5th, and she will have to hit the ground running. No honeymoon here for Christine Lagarde. The European debt crisis is ongoing. Now she has to pivot from her role as French finance minister into this more neutral role as head of the IMF. She promises she can do that. She's also going to have to, again, satisfy some of those emerging market economies, still not satisfied that they're adequately represented at the IMF. She's made assurances to them privately. She's going to be held to that now, Lisa.
So, Peter, what exactly can she do to ruffle out those feathers, if indeed there are some ruffled feathers?
Well, one thing she's going to have to do, and she's talked about it already publicly, and that is, again, continue the push for emerging market nations to have more of a say here in the governance of the IMF. There's been a push to give them greater voting shares. As long as that process continues, perhaps she can even speed it up. That would give some assurances to the emerging market nations that Christine Lagarde does have their interests at heart, and that the IMF does indeed reflect the growing clout of some of those emerging economies. One of the challenges facing her as she begins this new job.